Welcome back. This lecture will be a little more technical. It's true that a thorough understanding of the topics we're going to discuss here is a task for computer scientists and data engineers. They are the people that will normally help you when your analytic and coding skills are challenged by a serious programming problem. Nevertheless, you need to be aware of the terms we will introduce here. The reason is that we would like you to have control over a certain type of potential errors you may encounter while cleaning or pre-processing your data. Hopefully, this will enable you to solve many of the relevant problems yourself. First and foremost, your dataset is an aggregation of a certain amount of values, right? So, what would happen if someone just throws all the values from a dataset in a single text file, gluing numbers and text to one another? Different software, or even people, will not be able to distinguish between the values. Therefore, you need specific characters to be placed within the text to indicate where a value starts and ends, as well as where the end of a line actually is. In general, a character is any mark or symbol that you can use in writing, such as a letter, digit, punctuation mark, or other interesting symbols. For the purposes mentioned here, it will normally constitute a string of letters, numbers, and marks, like a comma or semicolon. But such helpful characters are not universal. It depends on the character encoding specification, which character can be used as an indicator for an end of a value or an end of a line. To better explain why we are constantly using character encoding specifications, think of the following. Generally, people like to work with text. However, machines only work with bytes. In other words, machines understand commands written in machine language. That is practically the lowest level language, composed of ones and zeros only, organized in a specific order. So you can think of encoding as the process of converting or translating text information into bytes. All right, we are definitely not going into detail, but the point here is that we need a program, which is usually the interpreter, that will encode the data values from text to ones and zeros, and that can later decode them back to human-readable text values when necessary. On that note, you have probably heard of UTF-8. That is, the 8-bit Unicode transformation format. For those of you who haven't, this is the dominant character encoding today. However, although UTF-8 is a brilliant human invention, and it has been around for a while, your data can drastically alter from its initial state once you start communicating with people from across the globe. Or, more precisely, when you use data that does not contain Arabic digits and English letters only. To preserve your data in its desired form, you need a suitable encoding specification. That's why in some cases, UTF-8 might not be able to help you. Then, you will have to consider looking for a different encoding. In any case, although we might not want to dig deeper into all types of encoding specifications, please just keep the following idea in the back of your mind. If your data occurs to be visualized in a totally incomprehensible set of characters, it might be because you've used the wrong encoding standard. In practice, you may have stumbled upon that problem when importing subtitles for a foreign language movie and obtaining random symbols instead. All right. Assuming you are experiencing no difficulties with the encoding, you need a character that will separate the values in your file. Such a character is called a separator. This could be a comma, a semicolon, a tab, space, or other. Moreover, according to the specification or standard you are using, the end-of-line character in a text file, also called EOL, new line character, line ending, or a line break, can be written with a combination of characters. Backslash and N, or a comma, for instance. This character will inform the interpreter that a new line shall begin right after. Apart from the terms separator and EOL, there's another one which is related to this topic, and it is EOF. It stands for end of file. You can think of it as a signal or a condition that there are no more characters contained in the text file. Therefore, ideally, you are supposed to not even be thinking about the end of the file you are using. However, it is useful to know the abbreviation, as it may be the root cause of an error message while coding. All right. This lecture aimed to clarify a few terms that can help you a great deal when you have to import a text file into a file object in Python. Keep what you learned here in mind for the next lessons, where we will continue to elaborate on the same subject by exploring the distinction between plain text files and CSVs. See you there!